So it's the middle of the winter break, transfer rumours have been absolutely flying, but for me, there's one kind of worrying common theme amongst all of those rumours flying about, and I'm going to dive into that in this video. But before we jump into that worrying common theme, I'm going to go over some of the more solid bits of transfer information that we've had over the past week. The first one, and probably for me the most important one, is that Sam Lammers is finally being set free. I mean, Lammers, when he first came in the door, that first period of play that we saw him in during pre-season, he looked like an actual football player. But obviously since then, in my opinion, I put a lot of that blame on Michael Beale. Since then, it's been nothing short of a complete and utter disaster. He just didn't fit in. This wasn't the club for him, and eventually he was let go, and thank God, because to be honest, it's better than being out there than having to sit and rot on the bench for the rest of the season. Lammers, as we've said before, was always one of those players where I never really saw him fit into the team at all. I didn't really know what his role was. He didn't really show any, at least, sort of technical ability, although he did have little flashes of brilliance, but it completely fell away. As I've said, I've used this many times before because it's a common theme, but the game was played round about him. He was completely missing. Obviously, this is just a loan deal. I'm not aware of any option to buy or anything like that, but at the end of the day, it's only going to be a win, the fact that he's out on loan, because either he goes out and he plays just as poorly as he did at us and it allows us to make our mind up on him, or he goes out, he manages to put a good performance in all for the rest of the season, and he puts himself in that shop window as a player that other clubs are likely going to be interested. Also, the Ridvan deal seems like it is almost there, a loan with an option to buy. This one is a little more controversial because I know in past performances, past games, he's done really well at the club. We've seen him start to show a bit of the potential that we actually bought him for. Although, in my opinion, he's still got key elements missing from his game. And also, at the end of this, I understand it might completely change that there is an option to purchase at the end of that. And to be honest, it's almost like me myself, I can't really make my mind up whether 100% he's shown his potential, we want to keep him, we want to keep going, or whether to say, you know what, I think he's kind of ran his course at Rangers. He's been here long enough. He's had ample opportunity to topple Borna Barisic's starting position in the team, and I don't think he's ever fully done that. So maybe it is time to cash in and move him on. But that's going to be up to the Rangers support to kind of come to a general feeling on Ridvan Yilmaz. I'd certainly like to hear from all of you in the comments section, maybe having that debate, having that argument whether to keep loan him out or get rid of him or keep him. Now we'll kind of move on to the more, it's all still up in the air kind of transfer rumours, and that one of those was Batshuayi, who I thought brilliant, that it's an amazing player to get linked with, but throughout the full link I couldn't help but feel like it was another one of those, we'll use Rangers to kind of drum up the interest and, bump up contracts and show that there's interest in him. And to be honest, the club may or may not have been interested. Maybe it was an option, maybe there was contact between the club and agent, but my feeling was that, Batshuayi's on massive wages, and it's going to be a hard push for a club like ours after the recruitment drive in the summer, the fact that we need to offload a lot of dead wood to bring in new players. Batshuayi seemed like maybe a far stretch, or even if we can afford that, then maybe it's not so wise to take up a lot of that wage bill on the one player. But again, later on, Rangers ended up coming out and saying, listen, we're not interested, we never have been interested. They've said that there's no real contact. A lot of fan media outlets confirmed that as well, and to be honest, it's not. Yes, I was excited about the aspect of Batshuayi coming in because he's played at many top level clubs, he's scored at many top level clubs, he's won things, he knows what it takes to win, but it just didn't fully 100% make sense for me. So I was kind of glad that was there. And also, this was coming at the time where a lot of the Shankland rumours, Shankland's always going to be, until the time comes where we potentially sign him, the Shankland rumours are always going to be there. He's a player that in this league has always performed, always, for a fact, domestically at least, you're going to get goals out of him. Obviously, it's different in Europe because he's not had a European career so far. I mean, there's pros and cons to the whole Shankland rumours as well. A lot of people have been in the camp of, well, he's 30 years old, we want to bring in young players to go with this player trade model, young players with potential that we can make a profit on. Obviously, I don't feel like Shankland is one of those players, but at the same time, right now, we've got a title push on. And I think now is the time, if you're going to bring in a lot of players in January, you've got enough room in there to almost sort of risk that short-term fix. And I think Shankland is definitely somebody that can just give us that edge. At the end of the day, we're needing a finisher, so who better domestically to finish those chances than Lawrence Shankland? Another one that's kind of a rumour that's I don't see any real legs to is the whole Saudi interest in James Tavernier. Well, to be honest, I'm not saying there's not interest in James Tavernier. He's a goal-scoring right-back, one of the best goal-scoring right-backs about. And for me, I can't see it happening this window at least. As I said, we've got a title push going on. That's a full focus in terms of recruitment around Rangers right now. I think it would be completely disastrous if we were to let James Tavernier go, especially at this time. If we get through, we end up winning the title, we get success, and we have a bit of time to bring in somebody to replace James Tavernier, then maybe let him go in the summer. But I would, in order for us to actually sell him in this window, I can't see it being anything less than absolute crazy cash. It would have to be an offer that the club cannot refuse. I don't really know what that figure is personally, because I think he's almost irreplaceable going forward. Yes, he's got defensive mistakes in there. There's debate over the captaincy, but all I know for a fact is, so far this year, I know for a fact since Beale left, James Tavernier has been doing really well at getting a lot of fans that were against him back on side with important goals popping up. He always pops up with those important goals, and to be honest, I just feel like if we're going to have to replace him, we'd need a big fee in order to go out there and get someone that can almost do offensively what James Tavernier can do, and also fix some of those defensive flaws. Now, other than that, there's been a couple of midfielder links. We've got Bula, which rumours are the club are closely monitoring. We've also got players like Oscar Zambrano as well, which falls into that midfield category. Other than that, there's massive glaring kind of almost spaces in the team now that Yilmaz is away, and obviously we've still got to sort out the whole right winger situation as well. Obviously we've still got Danilo out in injury. We've brought in Silva to compensate for that. We still need a striker. I think there's still massive, glaring gaps in the team that need to be filled, and as I says, I think the sale of Yilmaz just causes another gap, because although Barisic is there, not only is he going to be the only left back or the recognised first team left back there, the fact that a lot of the fans are pretty much, they still don't fully believe in the ability of Borna Barisic enough to say, right, well, we can rely on him till the end of the season, we can rely on him for that title push. So that's a couple of issues I have so far with this transfer window. Now, at the start of the video, I said there was a worrying common theme so far with this transfer window, and I'm going to tell you what I think that is. There's a lot of players getting linked to Rangers at this current moment. A lot of players, and we're seeing it on Twitter most of all. I know rumours can gather pace depending on how excited the fan base are on certain appointments, so they tend to just gather pace. But we're seeing a lot of the time, links and rumours and sources are saying XYZ players coming into Rangers, and then all of the fan base were doing their research. We've got fan media outlets doing their research into these players, and everybody's getting excited. Then all of a sudden, out of the blue, the club turns round and says, we've never been interested. Now, whether that's the club just kind of covering themselves to say they were not really interested, so they're not kind of putting it out there that, you know, Rangers are in for this player, and any, you know, club out with that were interested just kind of gave the ultimatum of, well, you need to act now and you need to pay more than Rangers are to get the player, which would be fair enough. But there is a lot of players out there where rumours have been floating about for a long time, and Rangers haven't really said anything on it. They haven't come out and confirmed. Obviously they're not going to confirm, but they haven't really come out and denied being interested in that player. But for me, there's far too many times where we're getting linked, you know, XYZ sources, solid sources are coming out and, you know, backing up those links as well. And then out of the blue, the club are turning around and saying, you know, we're definitely not interested in that player, which says to me that there's a lot of agents out there that seem to think that using Rangers as almost a platform to say, listen, this player's available and there's a big club interested, so if anybody's want to make their move, they better make their move right now. And it's, you know, it's frustrating from a fan's point of view, especially in January when you've only got a month to sort out all the problems, especially the problems that we need to sort out. It's kind of an on the edge of your seat window. We've clawed it back, the points gap back. We're going for a title push when we thought all was lost, and also there's glaring gaps and problems within that team that need fixing immediately. So from a fan's point of view, this is probably one of the most important January windows we've had in a long time. It is, as I said, it's edge of the seat stuff. So any time that those links come out, all the Rangers fans, us Rangers fans, we're going to take it extremely seriously. We're going to do our research, something we may not have done before, but we're starting to do now. And then, you know, seeing that after all of this hype, the club coming out and saying we were never interested, it's massively frustrating. But anyway, that was just a quick video to, you know, give my take on the transfer window so far. Obviously, there's going to be a lot more players getting linked. There's going to be a lot more talk on, you know, whether these links are true or false. It's going to be a complete roller coaster, and we've only got to see how it goes and, you know, ride the wave almost. So what I want you to do is jump into the comments, let me know what you thought of the transfer rumours so far, my opinion, and who you'd like to see come into the club. What do you think about the Yilmaz transfer? What do you think about the Shankland links? Give me a just general feeling on how the transfer window feels right now. Remember, the BlueSea memberships are down in the description. It's a great way with your support to help us invest a wee bit more back into the content. The link to that's down in the description next to our socials, and we'll see you next time.